Gartner Callaway is combining agriculture and technology so that the process of growing food is more seamlessly integrated into people's lives. Its hydroponics system is also seen as a way to limit travel time for food and carbon footprint of preserving and transporting organic materials.
So for now, we do not need to preserve our produce because most of what we grow between Lekki and VI alone, between the restaurants and the families, it's all consumed. And to ensure that we don't run out of supply to our customers, what we've done is we've sequenced our produce. So we get to harvest every week and it's all fresh. How do we do that? You know, from the seedling, we plant we'll seed some in the nursery, and then the first batch comes out, and then they are growing. So after a week, after like maybe say 3 weeks, because it takes about 5 to 6 weeks for the produce to be ready through this growing model. And then so after 3 weeks of the second set being inside, we transplant them into the towers outside. So by the time we're harvesting the very first batch, the second batch is ready. So that way we are able to keep our supply chain alive.
Some produce has been on trucks for weeks before it reaches the table, having lost, by some estimates, 45% of its nutritional value along the way. Produce is bred to survive that long journey with its aesthetics, but not necessarily its flavor intact.
Now we have different models we're running. Our first model, which we started with, is our city farm model. Now the whole idea of the city farm model is real farm to table. So it's for growers to actually experience the growing process along with us. And it's full transparency for them to actually see how the food, what they're eating is grown. And for them to actually come and we harvest it fresh at the farm. Hence the reason why our slogan, Find Your Farm in the City, and why we're setting up farms across Lagos. It's to actually boost that direct relationship with our consumers. Also understanding what they want, because when customers come to the farm, we walk around with them. What do you like? What don't you like? We take an average of what their needs are. So based on that, we're growing for them. Everything we do, it's really to make our customers happy. It's really all about the customer. Whether it's an individual, corporate institution, or whatever the case may be, it's always all about the customer.
Gartner Callaway plans to start farms across major areas in Lagos, next to distribution centers, to minimize the time its food spends in transit. It wants produce to go from harvest to table in hours rather than days. If it can do that, the company will be able to grow and sell a wide variety of rare breeds, which are more tender and flavorful than what's available at the supermarket, but less resilient to long journeys.
We talk about subsistence farmers all the time, but a lot of these guys grow the product, and probably about 50% of what they grow just goes to waste, simply because they cannot get their product to the end user. So this is a problem. When you think about the amount of waste that goes on in Nigeria, this is what Gartner Callaway Trading was for, to create a platform that reduces waste, increases efficiency, and as we always talk about, sustainability.
Hydroponics is an exciting concept, but most projects are difficult to make especially viable because they tend to focus only on the technology and the growing. Data suggests that it will be difficult to really feed a city from an indoor system, which has limitations on the size and variety of crops in limited space.
Could grow. There isn't a single crop grown in Nigeria that everything you see here modified. It doesn't even take much modification, just a different type of planting. It can be grown here. So yes, we can grow yam on this farm if we want.
We are doing what we're doing now, basically herbs and vegetables, because this is the city farm model. With the farm, our major farm is at Ekpe, at Ilara area, part of Ekpe, Lagos State, where we have a 30-acre farm, and then which we are developing in phases. That we have different sections for different produce, for different crops, for all manner of agricultural produce. In fact, that is going to be tailored more for exports, to be honest. But this is for us to bring our initiative, our idea, our business plan to the people and do it where it is very accessible. We are trying in our own capacity to, spread the gospel. What gospel are we spreading is that you must infuse innovation and technology with anything you're doing in every sector that you are. And this is a clear demonstration of that. We are growing soil. This is soilless farming. We're using a cocoa coir, the shell of coconut. That's what we're growing with. It's not expensive, rather. So you don't have to do it in towers like this to say that it is elitist or it is for the modern people, for the rich people. No. So it is according to your plan and budget. You go to greenhouses, most of them, they don't even use towers, But this is, you can call it a greenhouse, but this is, suspended roof vertical farming. Do you get what I mean? So basically, anybody can do this. It is just to cut your coats according to your size. When you have a budget, in as much as you told the, the cocoa coir inputs, if you don't use soil, you're already on the right track. You can hardly get it wrong. Because when you use cocoa coir, it retains water longer than soil. And then it keeps the crop, it keeps it very nurtured. We feed our own plants a minute, 2 minutes every hour. So that is not, we're not feeding them around the clock, as you may know. And then with this model, with this design, you can basically grow anywhere. But we have told this direction because we want to start from the city. And then with the yield that you get from this kind of growing, look at, for every pot now we have for every tower we have 6 pots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So and you can plant up to 8 to 10 seeds in a pot. So if you plant 8, that's 48 plants altogether that you're going to harvest. So for you to plant this in a traditional farm model, you need a lot of space to do that, and that we have done in just one tower. What is the size of this land? This is all that is standing on the floor. So with this model, it looks like the city is expensive, but you can actually grow more here. Our yield from this farm is that of a 10-acre farm. This is 1,268 square meter. And then the yield from here, given this design of planting, your yield is actually more compared to that of a 10-acre farm. So with so doing, you're maximizing the space in the city. So when you look at it very well, it is almost commensurate to you even having to go and grow on a big farm that's even in the bush. So you can grow in the city, you can actually yield more, and that's why it actually made sense. If we were to grow in the soil, and then we have to do it traditionally, they wouldn't be able to afford this place, because that way we will not have enough yield to sell to to cater for the maintenance of the farm, and even as profit for the business owners.
Hydroponics system is an intriguing experiment that has had success in arenas that have a high demand for freshness and variety, especially in restaurants.